Hello, friends. I'm here. Please let me know. I might turn down the music ever so slightly. Please let me know about the sound balance. If the music is too loud at any point, because I'm using my Bluetooth headphones today, and I don't quite have the sound balance down with OBS on here. But hello, Nell. Hello, pizza time. What kind of pizza are you having? Laurel, hello, how are you? Exiled Faye, hello, how are you? How is everybody? Sounds good? Perfect. First thing to make note of, yesterday we opened the Duck Vault and it opened this strange folder, and that folder is still there, even after turning off the game and reloading the game. And the folder is now visible on the main menu screen. I don't know what it means. There doesn't seem to be anything in it. It just says Forsaken Folder, and it has a deleted texture. So that's interesting. And we are loading in the ducks. I also think I figured out why there are so many duplicate ducks. I think because we've unlocked all of the ducks for this map, every time we load up that bar, I think it just spawns a random duplicate duck. I think so. I think like it just starts spitting out ducks that you already have. Whenever you fill up the bar. So I think that might be what happens, because I watched it spawn a Silkfoot duck yesterday, and I was like, okay. Stone-baked pizza topped with slow-roasted cherry tomatoes and basil. Oh, that sounds amazing. Are you home-making this now, or are you ordering it? That or one of the ducks is an imposter. Well, several of them might be imposters if that's the case. Because you see we have, like, 3 pies. There's 1, 2, 3 pies. Also, I forgot that I named the default duck Hadriel Langdale, who, there's, like, one other person in existence who almost maybe knows who that is, but doesn't really. No one has met that character yet. And it's highly amusing to me that I named that duck after Langdale. As a birthday treat, happy birthday, Nell! Flutter, thank you so much for the lurk. I know you're probably not wanting to talk, but let us know how you are if you feel like it, if you want to unlurk for 2 seconds. Hope you're having a fabulous day. Also, I hope the Jedi game has been going well. Oh my god! 23 months! Have I actually been streaming for 23 months? Oh my god. Thank you for that 23 months. Also, as I was saying, I hope the Jedi game is going well. I haven't been hanging out in the Jedi streams because I'm avoiding spoilers on that game. But I have been lurking in, several of your other streams. I'm a chronic lurker, don't always announce myself. I think it's Jedi Survivor. It's the sequel to the last, like, Jedi game. I don't remember the exact name of it. I do know that you do that, so I know you absolutely understand when I'm just lurking on you. Yeah, the Cal game. It looks amazing. But I watched Flutter play through pretty much the whole first game, but I had already had my experience with that game before she played it, and this time she beat me to it. She beat me to it this time, so it seems like you've been having a great time with it, which is the most important thing. I know a little bit, like, I don't know any of the story stuff, but I know that they added, like, a new like, visual system where you can, like, more completely customize, like, you can give Cal different haircuts and different outfits and stuff. I think I saw a version of him that has, like, mutton chops or something. They added a lot. So I can tell you've been having a good time with it. I feel bad because I remember I pretty much was there through your whole first game, but I haven't gotten around to experiencing that one just yet. There are so many games that I'm like avoiding spoil. I'm avoiding Baldur's Gate spoilers as well. Like so many of my friends are playing that and I have to mute on their streams and stuff. Yeah, exactly. So there's so many good games out there right now that I just can't keep up with all the stuff. But the most important thing is that you're having a good time with it. So it makes me excited for when I actually get around to experiencing the story of that game. So yeah, it's been out for a couple months. I think actually. There's so many things that have come out. I'm still working my way through Stray Gods as well. I was really excited about that, and I'm still only, I think, I'm almost at the end of Act 2, I think. So it's been a good summer for games, really, if you're into games. I know a lot of people are playing, I think it's Starfield as well. We have a lot of friends in the community who have, started playing that and seem to be really enjoying it. It's nice. It's nice to see things coming out, and Joe's really excited about Lies of P, which I always call Eliza P because I thought he was saying Eliza P for the longest time. Yeah, it's a Souls-like. Joe is really into Souls games, and he said that he's really he did not like Sekiro, The Shadows Die Twice, because it was a little too hard. But he said Lies of P he's really enjoying. It just is a little bit parry heavy. So they want you to do the perfect parry. They want you to parry at the right time. They punish you a little bit for keeping your guard up all the time, but he still seems to be enjoying it quite a bit. So once he got past the initial tutorial area and started being able to make his own weapons and stuff, he seems to be really into it. And I know you like the Souls games too, so you might wanna peek at that one. We've got a couple people in the community playing it. Joe's playing it. Orange is playing it. So if you have any questions about it, they'd be able to give you what their experience is on it so far. I can't play those games at all, but I watch other people play them to get an idea. Although, oh my god, freaking Joe and trying to pronounce names. There's a character in that game. There's an NPC in that game named Venini. It's Italian, so it's spelled with a G. So he kept calling him Venigni. Venigni. And I'm like, Joe, it's Italian. The G is silent. And then he's like, Megan told me how to say it and I can't remember. So I was like, okay, I know I'm gonna regret this because every time we tell Joe that a word sounds like another word, it goes poorly. But I said, it's like panini, right? Because everyone knows what a panini is. And instantly someone else in the chat was like, it's like peen. And now he just calls that character Peen. Panini does not have a G. Listen, I know that it's not fully silent, but you can't explain that to Joe. Joe will not, if you make it complicated, because it's more like a Y, so it's like Venini, it's more like almost like a Y sound in there, but you can't tell Joe that. He won't get it. So I said it's like panini, and then someone else was like, oh, it's like peen, and he just calls that character. That character is Peen now. Yeah, like NGY. But he's Peen now, apparently, and he'll forever be Peen. So, like, instantly, within 5 seconds, I said, I know I'm gonna regret this, and within 5 seconds I did. I think it was a new record. I think it was a new record in Joe's stream. So, just delightful chaos with him. But, Flutter will be able to say the name. We can all trust in Flutter to say the name properly. She can do it. She's got it. she'll be our community redemption on name saying. Unless she just decides to hop on the bandwagon and just call him Peen. It's an option, apparently. Nell, you decided to get in on the ducks! Yes! Yeah, oh, did you post a picture of the pizza? Heck yeah, I hope it's delicious. But yeah. So getting on the ducks, just making sure I don't miss anything. I'll share the pizza in chat, excellent. Happy birthday again, Nell. Oh my goodness, right, it's Friday, so my brain doesn't want to do the work. Absolutely, thank you for hanging out, Flutter. Good luck at work. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you guys. I got this cute little mug. This is actually made by another streamer. Her name is Oak Tea. I'll give her a shout out in a minute. I can't remember how I found her. I think it might have been through Mumbles. She draws cute anime waifus, and this is her new Beach Buddies mug. You can buy this on Etsy. I actually won this. Her store is set up so that her chat can like sponsor giveaways. I'm just trying to get the glare off of it. Her chat can sponsor giveaways, and so I was able to win this mug, and it's super cute. Just trying to make sure you can see all the bunny girls. And it's super cute. And it's blue on the inside, which I love. So I wanted to show that off. Show off a fellow streamer. And let me make sure Oak Tea. I don't know that she streams on, whoops. I always forget my own the shout out command. What? Oh. I need more coffee, clearly. Check out Oak Tea Party. She's super chill. She does watercolor painting on stream. I think she streams Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, if I'm remembering correctly. Her schedule is in her About area. She's super chill. I lurk on her streams a lot while I'm writing. I love to see how her pieces come together because I have no concept of how watercolors actually work. Love you too, Flutter. I missed your message before. So yeah, check her out. She's super awesome. She doesn't do like productivity sprints or anything, but she just chills and does her art and is super awesome. Good, thanks. How are you working on chapter 24 of Keller and Naomi's story? Probably gonna work on chapter 6 and 13. Chapter 6 of 13 floors since it's been a few days since I worked on that. Nice! It sounds like your projects are proceeding, Laurel. I'm doing great. It's Friday. I've been longing for Friday since Tuesday. So now it's here. Let me, because I promised I was going to add the picture that we are doing for the writing prompt today onto the screen. So I posted this, I think, back on Sunday. It helps if I look in the right folder, though. I posted this back on Sunday in the Discord. This is the image that I'm going to be using for my random picture prompts today. So if anyone's wondering like where I like find these, I basically just went on Pixabay, which is a big stock photo site. And I'm just trying to find the best place to put it. It's gonna cover the ducks a tiny itty bitty little bit here. But I basically just go on Pixabay, and they have a bunch of royalty-free stock images. I guess I can put it under the duck cam. Let's try that. Oh, but that puts it under the overlay. Okay. I can't put it under the duck cam. Unfortunately. I tried. I've forgotten how layers work. I basically just went on Pixabay and I looked at a bunch of stock photo images. Some of them I have saved. I just have a folder of saved images that have looked interesting. These are royalty free, so you don't have to pay for them. And once you download them, you can use them however you like. You can use them commercially. So if you want a copy of this image to use on your website or to post wherever, if you're doing your own version of the prompt, you can absolutely use it, and you don't have to, like, pay for a licensing fee or whatever. Versus, like, if I had got it off of Deposit Photo. Why is my brain like this morning? I was fine when we were talking about characters Joe calls peen, and now I have to have a serious conversation, and my brain is like, you don't know what words are. Ha ha ha. Deposit Photo, you have to pay for those images in order to use them, but then once you pay for them once, you don't have to pay royalties on them afterwards. So this is an image that I found on Pixabay. It's free to use. It has inspired a thing in my brain that I'm going to write about. If you're wondering, like, what my process is for these, because I've done a couple of them, I haven't done them in a while, but my sort of process for this is I find an image that looks interesting, and I decide, okay, I'm going to write a story based on this. I decided that on Sunday, and then I promptly didn't think about it for 4 days. And then last night, before bed, I was like, oh yeah, I have a random picture prompt to do today. So I thought about it. I thought about the image. I wanted to try to challenge myself. I had a couple of ideas that sort of instantly popped into my head, just thinking about the image. And I rejected a couple of them because they're very similar to things that I've written elsewhere. I wanted to challenge myself to write something a little bit different from what I've already done with similar concepts. So I sort of just played around with different concepts until I found one that felt like it was new, that felt like it was interesting. And then I was sort of like, okay, this is the idea that I'm gonna expand on. And then I went to bed. I didn't think about anything for 6 hours. And then this morning in the shower, I just kind of prodded at that. I do a lot of novel and story writing thinking in the shower. I'm sure I don't have to tell you guys that the shower is a great, like, creative tool, because it's just quiet and relaxing and your mind is ready to go everywhere anyway in the shower. So I prodded at the idea a little bit more this morning in the shower, sort of expanding on the concept and what I want it to be. And so that's where I am. I have a really sketchy sort of idea of what I want to do, and how long-ish I want it to be. And I haven't, in case you guys are like, how completely do you plan these? I specifically didn't necessarily plan an ending, because I kind of want to see where it goes. So with my writing prompts, with my novels, I generally am building up to something. And so I generally have an end point in mind. I am trying to get my characters to a certain point, to a certain event, and I generally know how I want that event to turn out in the end. It doesn't always work that way. It doesn't always go exactly the way I expect it to, and certainly the path there isn't always what I expect it to be, but I usually have an endpoint in mind. So with my writing prompts, I like things to be a little bit more open-ended. I like to sort of just start somewhere and see what comes out of my fingers and go wherever that concept ends up leading me. Because it's just for fun. It doesn't have to be good. It's sort of a way to stretch my writing muscles, to get away from the structure and the pressure of a big novel series. I don't have to worry about matching the moving parts in this to the moving parts in something else. I don't have to worry about timelines aligning or what order things are in. I can just sit down and write whatever's in my head at the time. And so that's why I like doing exercises like this. And I highly recommend, if you do a lot of serious writing projects, if you're working on a novel, oh hey look, there's a flock of ducks in the distance. If you have a lot of serious projects going on, and you start to feel maybe constrained or frustrated or just tired, just fatigued with that, just take a minute and write something for fun. Just write something with no expectations, something that can be bad if it ends up being bad, or something that's silly. Like when we first started the 22 stories in 2022, I wrote this completely off the walls bonkers story about a group of aliens that were like hiding in human forms, and one of them set off a volcano eruption and the other ones were like flying into a panic, and it was completely absurd and it was completely ridiculous, but I had tons of fun with it. So give yourself permission to do things like that. Give yourself permission to write something that's completely unhinged, that's just for fun, that's whatever is in your brain at the moment. And if you find that you get fatigued or bogged down or just stuck with your bigger, more serious projects, it's kind of a way to come unstuck, because it gives you a chance to enjoy writing without any expectations. I know what you mean, Exiled Fae. I feel that way sometimes too, but that's why I sort of have a fun writing slot written into my schedule. And I post these on my blog, so for me, the balance is I'm still doing work, right? This is going on my blog. My blog serves a business function. Oh gosh! Fireworks duck just... Oh my goodness, and from the fireworks emerges a UFO. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. What is happening? Were there 2 fireworks ducks? Who got stolen? What is happening? To me, it feels like the fireworks duck went into the sky, the UFO brought him back, and then he went again. What did we just witness? Oh, hey, the soda that's here, that soda was in the vault yesterday. Interesting. Interesting. I can't click on it again, though. Interesting. Sorry, I was distracted. But yeah, for me, it serves, my blog serves a business purpose. So it's fun writing time, but it's also doing something, right? For me, all of my writing has to be at least somewhat productive, but I still get that freedom of fun and silliness. And sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need to let yourself just write without expectation, just write whatever comes into your mind. Because it can all be serious. It can all be about, does this world building work? Sometimes you gotta just write something totally off the cuff. Is there something, there looks like there's something on top of the roof. Is that just a light? What's that? What? Oh! How did a duck get up there? Oh, it's the ninja duck. How did the ninja duck get up there? Sweet boy, how did you get up here? My goodness. I didn't even know he could go up there. My goodness. I thought that was like a camera or something. Well, well, well. Ducky did go bye-bye. I write mostly for fun anyway, as long as the characters are happy. Yeah, and I mean, I'm not saying that my novel projects aren't fun, but they do have needs. And the little fun stuff that I write for my blog doesn't need that stuff. Now there is one thing that I wanted to do before I start because of the concept that I came up with. I need to look something up. I want to know. This is gonna sound real stupid, but I want to look up Humpty Dumpty. Probably, alright, so character in an English nursery rhyme, probably originally a riddle and one of the best known in the English-speaking worlds. Specifically portrayed as an anthropomorphic egg, although he isn't explicitly described as such. Is it public domain? It must be, because there are so many interpretations. Oh, interesting. Humpty Dumpty is the Dutch or something else for egg. Is that true? Humpty Dumpty lay in a beck with all his sinews around his neck. 40 doctors and 40 rights couldn't put Humpty Dumpty to rights. I haven't heard that version before. Interesting. According to Oxford English Dictionary, in the 17th century, the term Humpty Dumpty referred to a drink of brandy boiled with ale. That sounds disgusting. The riddle probably exploited for misdirection the fact that Humpty Dumpty was also 18th century reduplicative slang for a short and clumsy person. The riddle may depend upon the assumption that a clumsy person falling off a wall might not be irreparably damaged, whereas an egg would be. The rhyme is no longer posed as a riddle since the answer is now so well known. Interesting. Humpkin Pumpkin. My understanding is essentially that the egg is supposed to be the answer to the riddle, question mark? The rhyme does not explicitly state that the subject is an egg, possibly because it may have originally been posed as a riddle. There are various theories of an original Humpty Dumpty. One advanced by Catherine Els Thomas in 1930 posits that Humpty Dumpty is King Richard III of England, depicted as a hunchback in Tudor histories and particularly in Shakespeare's play, and who was defeated despite his armies at Bosworth Fields. Interesting. This is what I wanted to know, was if it originally referred to a specific person. In 1785, Francis Gross's Classical Dictionary of the Vulgar Tongue noted that Humpty Dumpty was a short, clumsy person of either sex, also ale boiled with brandy. No mention was made of the rhyme. Punch in 1842 suggested that the rhyme was a metaphor for the downfall of Cardinal Wolsey. Interesting. Who the fuck is that? English statesman and Catholic bishop. When Henry VIII became king of England, Wolsey became the king's almoner. Interesting. Interesting. Professor David Dobbs suggested in the Oxford magazine February 1956 that Humpty Dumpty was a tortoise siege engine, an armored frame used successfully to approach the walls of the parliamentary held Gloucester in 1643. In the English Civil War. Huh. So nobody really knows where it originally came from. From 1996, the website of Colchester, I'm probably saying these names wrong, tourist band attributed the origin of the rhyme to a canon recorded as used from the Church of St. Mary at the Wall by royalist defenders of the siege of 1648. In 1648, Colchester was a walled town with a castle and several churches and was protected by the city wall. The story given was that a large cannon, which the website claimed was colloquially called Humpty Dumpty, was strategically placed on the wall. A shot from a parliamentary cannon succeeded in damaging the wall beneath Humpty Dumpty, which caused the cannon to tumble to the ground. The royalists, or cavaliers, all the king's men, attempted to raise Humpty Dumpty onto another part of the wall, but the cannon was so heavy that all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Interesting. Author Albert Jack claimed in his 2008 book Pop Goes the Weasel, The Secret Meanings of Nursery Rhymes, that there were two other verses supporting this claim. Elsewhere, he claimed to have found them in an old, dusty library in an even older book, but did not state what the book was or where it was found. It has been pointed out that the two additional verses are not in the style of the 17th century or of the existing rhyme, and they don't fit with the earliest printed versions. Interesting. Interesting. And of course, how I'm familiar with Humpty Dumpty is through Lewis Carroll's The Looking Glass. I didn't know it was a riddle either. I'm thinking of putting religion back into my one story. I had completely kept it out, but I changed some background stuff, and now religion makes sense. A canon makes sense in this context. It does. That's the one that makes the most sense to me. That something got knocked off the wall and they tried to put it back. Also, if it makes sense to put the religion back in, go for it. Like, I've done stuff like that too, where I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna do this because I don't think it works, and I'm like, oh, okay, maybe it works. It was where Gandalf went to find out about the ring, yeah. And therein was kept the original Humpty Dumpty. Hey, the real salties, how's it going? But now, so I'm assuming then... Oh, interesting. In science, Humpty Dumpty has been used to demonstrate the second law of thermodynamics. The law describes a process known as entropy, a measure of the number of specific ways in which a system may be arranged, often taken to be a measure of disorder. The higher the entropy, the higher the disorder. After his fall and subsequent shattering, the inability to put him together again is representative of this principle, as it would be highly unlikely, though not impossible, to return him to his earlier state of lower entropy, as the entropy of an isolated system never decreases. That actually really supports what I want to write. Thank you, Wikipedia, and thank you, science. So... is Humpty Dumpty public domain? In general, all old nursery rhymes are in the public domain. Excellent. I don't need to know if the character is public domain. I just need to know... The public domain info project contains a list of best-known public domain children's songs, including nursery rhymes such as Hey Diddle Diddle, Hickory Dickory Dock, Humpty Dumpty, Jack be Nimble. Perfect. So I can quote Humpty Dumpty on my blog without being sued. Good to know. Science! I also want to do another fairy tale, kind of like I did with The Little Mermaid, but none are calling to me. Oh yeah, I did a series of darkling fairy tales based on fairy tale objects for my blog, and it was super fun. Just remembered. What did you just remembered? Alright, so now that I've done the research portion, I'm ready to begin. Did you hear that the author of the Fables comic has released his comic to the public domain early? I did not. Interesting. I've not heard of an author doing that. Does that mean he can no longer make money off of it? Like, does he basically forfeit royalties off of it now if it's in the public domain? He was doing it to spite DC because DC kept screwing him. Can he do that then? Does he own the rights to release it to public domain, or would DC do it? Hang on, let me do a Google. This depends on whether or not the author has the ability to release the property to the public domain. It depends on whether he owns it or whether DC owns it. So there's this complicated thing whereby if DC owns the property rights to the intellectual property, then he can't release it to the public domain because it would be owned by DC. So, because apparently DC is trying to say that it's not in the public domain. Fables creator places Wolf Among Us universe in public domain. Interesting. I'm trying to find, like, articles from places that are actually, like... I'm reading. U.S. author and artist Bill Willingham has dramatically announced that he's placing Fables comic book property in the public domain. Including all Fables spin-off characters. But did he own it, is the question. An extended account, he discusses various conflicts that arose during his 20 years of working with DC Comics. Some were smaller matters like neglecting to ask his opinion on artists for new stories and late reporting or underreporting of royalty payments. But in recent years, the author feels that DC Comics have been trying to strong-arm the ownership of Fable. See, this is going to come down to who owns it. If DC owns the property, if DC owns the IP, the intellectual property, then DC owns it, not the author. He can't afford to sue them, so he's just letting the legal chaos take its... this is gonna be... Yeah. DC is already saying that they own it, so... Good luck! I'm not gonna touch that one with a 10-foot pole. I'm not gonna touch that one with a 10-foot pole. There's gonna be lawyers involved in that. He can say, so, he said he did it. He said on his blog that he owns it, but DC said that their interpretation was that they own it. So someone's gonna have to go over the contract and determine who actually owns it. Hey, Ghosty Gale! It's my last hour of work here at the library and I need some focus! Welcome in! We're just about to start... I got distracted by this Fables thing, but we're just about to start our productivity. Unfortunately, if Legal Eagle isn't in charge of the actual case, it might not matter what Legal Eagle thinks. But here's how people misinterpret or misunderstand intellectual property. When it comes to publication, it can get murky. So if I write a novel and I publish that novel through a publishing arm, the publisher can state in my contract that they own that universe and the rights to publish it. They can do that. They do it a lot. There's many cases of people not being able to go ahead and do things that they want to do because the publisher decides to discontinue publication on that series and not release it back to the original author. Now, usually the rights will revert after a certain period of time, at which point the author can hopefully go on and do more things. It's in the contract, so you have to read your contract carefully. What you want to do is be really savvy, like, and I hate to mention her at all on stream, but J.K. Rowling, when she signed a publication deal with Harry Potter, she maintained control of her intellectual property. So she owns Harry Potter. She owns everything to do with Harry Potter. Warner Brothers, her publishing house, they can't do anything without her, because she maintains the rights to her intellectual property. When you self-publish, one of the benefits of self-publishing is that you don't have to sign a contract saying so-and-so publishing company has a piece of stake in my work, blah, blah, blah. You completely maintain control of it. You can do whatever you want with it. And so this we see in comics a lot, where something like, which of my Pinterest boards would you like to take a peek at? Give them now. Is there a particular project that you would like to have a peek into? But basically this happens a lot with comics. If a comic, such as, say, X-Men, which was created by Stan Lee, we all know it was created by Stan Lee, but it's not owned by him. It's owned by Marvel or whoever. And it's the same, like, the movie studio owns the intellectual property rights to certain superhero movies and blah, 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 right? And they are the ones who get to make that decision. So what's gonna have to happen is lawyers, probably DC's lawyers, are gonna have to open up the publishing contracts and go back through the publishing contracts and determine who actually owns the IP for the company, for the project. If it turns out that DC owns it, then the author can't put it in the public domain. If it turns out that he does own it, then DC can't do shit about him putting it in the public domain. But that's where the answer is going to be. It's going to be in the contract. It's going to be whether or not he signed away his rights to DC or not. And that's what it's going to come down to. My fantasy, we can look at Dreamers Do Lie has a Pinterest board. Everyone's Child has one, but it's very small. There's also a Aravalia Chronicles one, and there's also there's a Domarin specific Pinterest, and there's a Rose specific Pinterest who are characters from the Aravalia Chronicles. So there are character boards for all of those projects that I just mentioned. Or there's the Domarin specific and Rose specific ones. It gets murky with comics because even though they're in the same universe for a long time, you couldn't cross over the X-Men and the Avengers because different studios own them. Exactly. So it's going to come down to For us, we ensure the creators own all rights. Conquest, that's amazing. That's how it should be. I agree with this guy that he should own the rights to his property, but it's going to be in the contract. If he signed a contract saying DC owns it, then tough titties, apparent. I hate to say that because I'm 100% in this guy's camp. But it works how it works. After work, I'm gonna go to my favorite thrift store to find my Miss Piggy costume. You're doing a Miss Piggy costume, Ghosty Gale. That's so amazing. All right, I am going to, what we're gonna do, because I've been streaming for almost an hour and I've written not a word. We're gonna take a peek at this Pinterest board for now. And then I'm going to take a quick break, and then we're going to do, I was going to do 20-minute sprints today, but we'll just go straight into a 30-minute sprint and just see where this story goes. Your boyfriend is going to be Kermit! Oh, that sounds amazing! Comic ownership is tricky because multiple people may have worked on it. Yeah. And so that's why I say, it's murky territory, and it's going to come down to the contracts. Someone's going to go over those contracts with a fine-tooth comb, and determine whether or not, who owns it is what it's going to come down to. It's going to be in the contracts. Where is my display capture? There it is. All right. So Rose is the queen of Arvalia. She is technically Domeran's boss. If it's possible to control him, she's as close as it gets. So this is Rose's Pinterest board. She's got a whole fashion section. This is like her closet. These are all the dresses that she wants to wear. Whenever I need to describe her outfits, which happens quite often, I come in here and I scroll through. There's hair, there's dresses, there's accessories. There's this really cute... hang on. There's this really cute butterfly dress. I think I used those sleeves, actually, in one of her... for one of her ball gowns. So yeah, just stuff that she would wear in here. She has quite a... She's a queen, so she has quite a wide range of really fancy fashions. I liked that hair so much I pinned it twice, evidently. Mostly dresses, just really long, flowing, ball gown type things. For her, and then her main board is more so so she has very, very long black hair, longer than most of these pictures, probably about this long, actually. And yeah, she's basically, this is a really good approximation. She's got long wavy black hair, she's got blue eyes, and she sort of has really delicate features, pale skin because she doesn't get out in the sun very often. The black dress with the collar and plunge. I didn't see that message when I was scrolling. You can have the link if I can figure out this one. Option 1. Yeah, okay. Heck yeah. Yeah, so she has quite an extensive board. She's a very powerful sorceress. Mostly I just try to find things that match the character's appearance, but also her sort of aesthetic as well. Rose actually is going to appear in another series at some point as well. So some of these pins are for Aravalia Chronicles, and some of them are for a later series. A different alternate reality version of Rose, who doesn't know Domarin at all. So yeah. You can see the Sailor Moon influence in there. There's a lot of like Morrigan pictures, like Morgan Le Fay pictures, a lot of Elfie pictures. She's also a cat shifter, so there are a few cat shifter images in here as well. No problem, Nell. So yeah, she's actually a cheetah, but this is one of the closest ones I found. So she's a cat shifter. She does have a cat form. She doesn't use it very often in Aravalia Chronicles for reasons. But I do have a couple of cat lady pictures for her. It's funny because in my head when I read her, she looks like Katie McGrath even before I saw all this. I mean, it's good if my descriptions are coming through, right? So yeah, this is how she looks in my head pretty much. Long black hair, very regal. Always dressed fancy for the most part. I mean, she does have practical clothing for when she needs it, but she's a queen. So she's usually very regally dressed, usually in some form of ball gown. This is, I think, the best cat form I was able to come up with. The closest, like, cheetah type form. But yeah, there are a couple on here. Like, this one is a really accurate to her. This one over here would be... this would be her before coffee in the morning. This is another really good one. I don't know. Never actually put her in earrings that long, but you know what? So yeah, and the pictures of Luna from the Sailor Moon comics in her human form are really similar to Rose's human form as well. So that's Rose Strathmore. She's Domarin's boss lady. She's very young at the start of the story. She grows up quite a lot over the course of it. Oops, that was my email. I probably shouldn't have flashed that on screen, but that's okay. So yeah, just a little look at Rose is one of the few characters that I keep a separate Pinterest board for. Rose and Domarin are really the only two who have non-project related Pinterest boards because they appear in a couple of different worlds. So there are so many different versions of them that they get their own boards. Yeah, royalty, exactly. This is making me want to start a Pinterest. I mean, that's all I pretty much use my Pinterest for. All right, I'm going to take a quick break because I yammered so long. We're going to come back and we're going to do the productivity part of the productivity stream, and I'm going to write, based on this picture that's down there, a story. If you guys would like to write a story with me on, like, whatever comes into your brain, feel free. If anyone's super interested, I could potentially post them on my blog at some point. So just throwing that out there in case anyone wants to do it. No pressure. Yeah, she does. She has a lot of outfits. And apparently nobles only wear their outfits like one time. So, like, she gotta have a lot of them. I don't think she's that kind of person, but... Alright, I'll be right back, my friends. Alright, we are gonna go pretty much straight into focus here. I'm going to put 30 minutes on the clock. I resume the duckies for you. Man, there are a lot of ducks in that bottom pool down there. Look at that. It'd be crowded. Why does it want to... Oh, because it's on... it's on that duck. Let's move to one of these ducks. There we go. But yeah, I think the Fables thing is gonna come down to contracts, and I think it's probably gonna turn out that DC owns them. I hate to say that, but so don't turn any of those fan fictions into publications just yet. Because, there'll be lawyers involved in that sooner or later. It'd be interesting to see what Legal Eagle says as well. I'm really only familiar with him because he rang in on the D&D thing. Hey, Diz is living. How's it going? Perfect. Cat is singing the song of his people. It goes something like, "It's time to go outside. Why are you still at your desk? Human!" Convinced all cats pronounce human like Ferengi. Absolutely. Taking a break from things apart from packing. I hope packing is going well. Took my bed apart, so now I'm sleeping on my mattress on the floor. Oh no! I hope it's a very comfortable mattress. When is the move happening, Diz? Is it close? I mean, I assume it is if you're packing, but I hope you gave yourself a lot of time to pack. When we moved into this house, I did not give myself enough time to pack, and we owned way more stuff than I thought we did. It was a little bit cray. 3 weeks! That's a good amount of time for packing, in all honesty. Nell, enjoy your lurk. Thank you so much for hanging out. And enjoy the pizza if you haven't finished it already. Oh, that pizza looks so good. Oh. So good. Own very little and I'm selling most of the furniture? Nice. I thought we didn't own that much either, and then I opened up a closet and I was like, oh fuck, I forgot about everything that was in this closet. It was an interesting night, to say the least. Just peek in your closets before the night before you're actually moving, that's all. Most of the stuff I have to pack and take is my mom's stuff that she left here. Interesting. My main thing is fixing anything like nail holes before I go. That's very kind of you to fix everything up for the next person. Lots of people don't do that. Like, we always try to do that before we leave, but lots of people don't do that. We always give the house one last clean once we're out of it as well. Just like a big, huge scrub so the next person can just come in and get comfortable. But the people who lived here before we moved here did not do that. So there was a lot of cleaning. There was like 12 hours of kitchen cleaning. Not a word of a lie. Please come scrub my abode. No thank you. I hate doing that, but good luck. I am deep cleaning and fixing nail or screw holes from hanging stuff and painting over the fixes. Yeah, that's... Some people don't do that. Some people just pack up their shit and go, and it's not great. But we're deep cleaners as well. Like, when we leave a place, we clean it before we go. We clean it again once everything's out of there. Like, you know, try not to leave a mess for the next person. Especially when you're buying a house. Like, we bought this house and it was given to us in a state of total disaster. If I'm renting, the landlord gets what they get. If I'm selling, what does caveat emptor mean? You get what you get? Listen, as long as you do enough to get your safety deposit back, like your security deposit back, then, but no, we're very much, cause we want the place we're going into to be clean, so we clean the place that we leave for the next person. I'm not moving, I hate scrubbing. I feel you, Conquest. I don't like cleaning either. There's two asthmas, side by side. Buyer beware. I figured it was something like that. I need to replace the blinds because my roommate's cat broke them. Oh no! Why doesn't your roommate replace them? I can't even get people to clean up the stuff they bring to the store to sell. I've gotten so many rashes and infections. Oh no, that's the... Cleaning up after other people is the worst. Sometimes they don't know. They think because it's in a box in an attic for years, it's okay. Jeez. Oh gosh. Do you need like full hazmat suits to open these mystery boxes? My old roommate had a hoarding problem when we moved out, so I could move in with my husband. Their bedroom was, I swear it had TARDIS technology. We took out so much trash, and there were still like 7 jumbo black bin bags in there. Yeah. Well, if your roommate was a hoarder, that's a bit of a different story. That's a big task. I can't depend on him to do it, and if it isn't done, my mom isn't getting the secure. Ah, that sucks. Yeah, if that's the situation you were dealing with, that's totally different than like normal. That's like normal levels of dirt and filth. That's like, I can see why you didn't want to go down that rabbit hole. Absolutely, no judgment, because that, yeah, hoarders have a lot. It's different. it's a different level of dealing with something. Welcome back now. Before I go, I need to get my dogs their shots again and take one of them to the groomer. Oh no. Yeah, moving is a lot. It's really hard because a lot of time hoarders are unable to deal with the stuff themselves. But it's also true that, like, friends and family have a hard time dealing with that, too. It's much easier if you can get a professional to come in, but a lot of people don't have that option either. I know when my husband's grandparents on his father's side died, their house was not quite hoarder level, but very close. They were quite old. They had a lifetime worth of stuff that they had just sort of squirreled away in their house, and it took a good couple of months for the family to go through everything, to decide what was worth keeping, and to get rid of the rest. It was a huge job. And so yeah, I can definitely understand saying, you know what, I can't handle this. You know, trying to handle this would be a danger to my mental health, and not wanting to be the one responsible for that. I absolutely 100% understand that. Again, there's a big difference between that and I moved out of a house and just left it a sty, like the people that lived here. Gaviscon tastes foul, but it is a necessary evil. What is Gaviscon? I remember when we reestablished contact with my granddad and his place was bordering on hoarder situation. We had to scrub so much grime off everything. Yeah, it's rough. And they don't realize the effect that hoarding has on themselves and others, right? It's part of what makes it so hard. Okay. No! Alright, that was 1,255 words. Good progress. Bit of a slow start, but I think this is going the way I want it to go. Not quite half done, but pretty happy with where things are going. Oh, it's a heartburn acid reflux medication. I got you. Like Pepto-Bismol. I remember when we oh yeah, I read that already. Forgot to shake it. Probably didn't help. I remember when when Ghost and I got married, we went to the courthouse to get the license to get married. And they give you like a little kit, like they have a little kit for the bride and the groom. And the one for the groom had Pepto-Bismol in it. And Ghost was like, what the hell is this for? And we were like, I don't know. In case you get nervous? I've never heard of Gaviscon. I've never heard of it. Never heard of it. I'm assuming it's like Pepto-Bismol, though. Yeah, just because we have something in Canada doesn't mean I've used it. Pepto-Bismol, but white. Yeah. I'm sure they add the color into Pepto-Bismol. I'm sure it's not naturally pink like that. It's also quite gross. I'm gonna take another quick break. I was very pleased with how that sprint went. So we're gonna do it again. I'm gonna take a quick break. I'll make sure I'm completely caught up on chat because I know I missed a few things before. And then we're just gonna do another 30 minutes. And hopefully I can wrap this up. I want it to be relatively short. I want it to be relatively short. So hopefully it won't be too much longer. Can't always control these things. You want something to be short, it doesn't mean it will be, but we'll see. It's got adverts with the little fireman going into his stomach to fight the acid fire. I feel like I may have seen those. I haven't seen a lot of recent commercials, but I feel like I may have seen those. I always remember the ones, the like, back patch ones where it's like the little doll people and they get the giant pins in their back. Those always made me sad for the little doll people. Yeah, sure, you can toss. I mean, I'm not gonna watch it on the stream, but you can toss it at me if you'd like. I'm pretty sure I've seen them. It sounds familiar. Let me pause the ducks so that we don't miss anything important going on with these sweet little boos. And that folder. I don't know what that folder means. And I will be right back, 3 minutes. Make sure that you get up, walk around, stretch, grab something to drink, eat if you gotta, take your meds if you gotta, take care of this meat sack that you're driving through the world, because that's the only way it'll take care of you. And I will be back in 3-ish minutes for more clicky-clack, tippy-tap typing. how's it going? My friend, how are you? What is up? I'm not gonna delay too long since we spoke so long at the beginning of stream. I'm not gonna delay too long in between sprints, but I do want to share just a tiny bit. Ooh. Just a tiny bit what the concept that I'm working with today is. We talked a bit about Humpty Dumpty at the beginning of the stream, and you might be wondering, what does that have to do with a shattered mirror in the middle of a desert? I sort of was inspired by the lines of Humpty Dumpty to write this sort of very high-tech sci-fi story, little short. Basically about, because I played around with the idea of gateways before, and the idea of mirror universes and alternate spaces. So like I said, I kind of wanted to do something a little bit different with this one. So what I've kind of done, if Dameron was a nursery tale, which one would he be? I might have to get back to you on that. That's a good question. I can only think of maybe 3 off the top of my head right now. I honestly, my gut reaction is like if I had to pick a character from like folk tales that he reminds me the most of, it would probably be Galahad, but that's not quite the same thing. So I will get back to you on that. That's a really interesting question. But Grumpy the dwarf, not a bad guess. Grumpy would fit him very well too. But so, yeah, the idea that I sort of had for this was a gateway, because it looks like a sort of gateway between, you know, dimensions or planes, that someone was passing through at the time it was broken. So basically someone who is trapped in this device when it's shattered. And so from there, sort of just this very high-tech, what is this gateway? How does it function? Why does someone need to go through it? And what happens to them if they are stuck in it at the time that it's damaged? And that's sort of what I'm writing about at the moment. And so I'm planning for there to be 4 scenes with 1 line each from the nursery rhyme at the beginning. And I am working my way through the second scene now, picking up the flow a bit. Popular nursery rhyme. So do you mean like what kind of nursery rhyme would be the one that like suits Dameron best? I'm envisioning something like the bit at the end of the Take Me On vid. I'd have to watch the music video again, possibly. Is head, shoulders, knees, and toes a nursery rhyme? Okay. Same Hush Little Baby? I guess it technically is. Man, some of these I haven't thought about in forever. Man, I should think about nursery rhymes for Arvalia. I did write I think it's on my blog, actually. Let me see if I can find it. I did write a fairy tale that is from the Aravalia universe. Let's see if I can find it. I think I wrote it just before I started streaming. And we read it on stream once. Yes, A Mistborn Fairy Tale. This is actually a fairy tale that takes place in Dameron's hometown, in the area where Dameron was born. Dameron was born in a region of Aravalia known as the Mistborn Forest. It's actually a jungle, but it's known as the Mistborn because it is born from mist each day and disappears into mist each night because of the fog. And this was a fairy tale that he would have been told as a child, because it was specific to the region where he grew up. And he also, in turn, would have read this fairy tale to his children when they were very young. So, yeah. Also, I think I indicated in the post, but no one is entirely sure if this was a true story or not. Because fantasy world. But there you go, if you're interested in reading a fairy tale from Dameron's region, from his home, that is one. And I will give that some thought as to like what fairy tale character from our world Dameron would be. But yeah, my knee-jerk reaction is the character, the sort of like folktale character that makes me think of Dameron the most would be Galahad. Is it Galahad? Or Gawain? I think it's Galahad is the one I'm thinking of. Gawain is a little too innocent, but I think Galahad is supposed to be, like, very noble. Renowned for his gallantry and purity as the most perfect of all knights. Apparently he's the illegitimate son of Lancelot. Ooh, further uniquely among the Round Table, Galahad is capable of performing miracles such as banishing demons and healing the sick. He travels alone during the Grail quest, smiting and often sparing his enemies, rescuing fellow knights including Percival, and saving maidens in distress until he is finally reunited with the others. Is Galahad the one who slays a dragon? There are so many Knights of the Round Table, I can't always keep them... separate. Oh. While making his way back to Arthur's court, Galahad is visited by the spirit of Joseph of Arimathea and thus experiences glorious rapture. That he's such a glorious rapture that he makes a request to die. Wow. And he ascends to heaven. Sounds a tiny bit Dameron-y, let's be honest. Yeah, I would say either Galahad or Gawain, but Gawain is a little too innocent for Dameron, so... Here are a few characters laughing. His name is Lancelot. He likes to dance a lot. Yes. Now, bring us a shrubbery, or we shall say neat you again. And so on and such forth. I'm gonna do... How dare you say neat me? I am gonna do work clicky clack tippy tap types. A Star is Born to Strike. Cademon, how's it going? Neo, if you're still hanging out, how's your writing project going as well? Please don't, Neo. Please don't. I can't stop you. Playing ESO will write tomorrow? Nice! I hope you're enjoying... I assume it's Friday night for you, Cademon. I hope you're enjoying your Friday night. I can't control you, Neo. You do you. But I'd appreciate if you didn't. Thank you, Neo. I appreciate it. I'm sure we'll see it before the stream is over, but I appreciate your restraint in not using it now. finished 2 scenes, and they're about the same length, which I'm happy about. They're slightly longer than I intended, but I'm pretty happy with it so far. Exiled Faye, thank you so much for hanging out. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Please take care. Energizer Bunny arrested, charged with battery. Neo. Was that from your book, Neo? Or was that all your own? from my book. I'm always glad when you share the things from your book with us, Neo. Something's up with my stomach. I barely managed to eat a pizza and half a cake. That sounds like a lot of food, Nell. A pizza and half a cake? That sounds like a lot. How big was the cake? How big was the pizza? Maybe you just need a rest, you know, in between. Oh, there were 3 hours between the pizza and the cake? Still, how big was the cake? Cake is very rich. Are we talking like a full cake or like just one piece? Alright. We are at 2,760 words total. And I think I have one more scene. I debated on whether or not I wanted to do the 4th scene, but I think I have one more scene that I want to do. So that last sprint we did, or at least I did, 1,505 words, so I'm pretty happy with that. I think I just have about 500 to 600 words left, so I might just go ahead and finish that off here quick in a second. I don't even know if I'll put the sprint timer on. We might just finish it off and then go do a raid. Sorry, I'm just trying to talk to Wolf. He's feeling a little under the weather still today, but we're trying to decide if we're going to do a stream tonight. We're tentatively on for streaming some Hades tonight, but I just want to make sure that he is not pushing himself too hard since he is in the process of recovering. But yeah, I think I might just spit these last few words out of my brain spaces here. I might just pop AFK. I'm not even going to go into BRB mode, but I might just pop AFK here for 1 sec and give my coffee a tiny bit of a refresh. And then we'll do the last few words here. think I did that thing where while I was AFK, I planned the end of the scene. So I think I know how I want this to end. Let's see how it goes. I'm excited, actually. I'm really excited about how this turned out. Sometimes I get these ideas and then I start to write them and I'm like, this is not gonna work at all. And then sometimes they go really well and I'm really happy with them, like today. So, heck yeah. Heck yeah. Why is it that Discord doesn't let me see certain usernames when I'm streaming? It's so weird. Oh, there we go. I can turn it off. Cool, great. Cool, great. Problem solved. It's one of those things where I don't understand why Discord thinks that's helpful. It, like, truncates the names of people when you're streaming. I don't know why... I don't know why that would ever be useful to me. But okay. Heck yeah. Okay, I'm happy with that. Just another 411 words, which brings us to a total of 3,180 for this prompt. And I'm really happy with how it came out. It went exactly the way I wanted it to go, pretty much. It's unpolished, it's rough. There's probably plenty of things that could be improved about it, but I'm really happy with it. I don't write a lot of hardcore sci-fi stuff. I mean, not that this is hardcore sci-fi. I didn't exactly sit down and come up with a bunch of science. There's just some, you know, techno-babble in there to sound smart. But I don't write, like, super sci-fi stuff a lot, and this felt a little bit more sci-fi than I usually go, and I'm just really happy with it. Could be a taste of a larger world someday, don't know. But I'm really happy with it. So yeah, if you wrote anything using the prompt, or if you use the picture prompt in the future to write something and you maybe want to share it out there, let me know. I'd be willing to post a few of them as guest spots on my blog in the future. If anyone would like to do that. It'll be a couple weeks before this goes live as usual, but I will put the VOD of this on YouTube so that everyone can see all the chaos of putting this together. And for now, I am going to head over to Twitch and see who's live so that we can do a raid, because it is lunchtime for me. I have some potato salad calling my name. I also am hopefully going to be over on It's Woof's channel. Let me give him a shout out. I'm going to hopefully be over on It's Woof's channel later tonight doing Hades. If we don't go live, it's because Woof isn't feeling well and he decided not to push it. But hopefully we're going to be able to hang out, play a little bit of Hades. He is working his way through the game for the first time, and I am doing basically post-epilogue stuff, working on maxing out my weapons, maxing out my Mirror of Nyx, finishing up a little bit of story that didn't take place while I was doing the main plot, and just generally trying to wrap up my last few achievos that I need to 100%. I only have 2 more, and they're pretty tough to get. So I will be over there starting at, we usually start at 8 p.m. PST, and let me shout out the lovely, oh, I have to wait another whole minute, but I will shout him out in a moment. I will be on Ghost Pepper's channel on Saturday night. We usually start around 7:30 PST. We will be doing, hopefully, Spiritfarer. We started basically split screen playing Wayfarer. Why do I keep calling it Wayfarer? Spiritfarer. We started playing Spiritfarer. A little further ahead in the game than him because I've played it a bit off stream because I'm so enamored with it. But we will hopefully get a chance to play that and just banter for a bit because we haven't been able to do a divorce court in I think like 2 or 3 weeks. So that will hopefully be happening tomorrow. Let me see if that shout out. GH0 Roast Pepper. 11 seconds! My goodness. Will work. But that is where you will find me. I am hoping to, I did glance at my schedule this weekend and realize that it might be a little bit complicated to try and do 3 streams next week, but I'm gonna give it a try. Shout out. I will post on the Discord when I have finalized my schedule. I'm thinking of trying to do Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday next week, with Tuesday and Thursday being morning streams and Wednesday being an afternoon stream. I'm gonna take a deeper look at my schedule and see how that goes. But hopefully that is when I will be back, and we'll be doing more. We will be working more on Arvalia Chronicles and Everyone's Child this week. So look forward to that. Who is around today? This is someone I don't think I've gotten to raid before. Or at least not recently. I think we are going to raid Vixen of Fiction. Heck yeah. Doing some writing sprints. So let's go spread some love. If you have my emotes, please feel free to use them. And if you don't worry. Because it's all about spreading the love. So yeah, thank you for hanging out. I think most people have already gone off for the rest of Friday. But thank you guys for hanging out for this Chill Friday stream. I really enjoyed putting this together. It was so much fun. I know we got into some interesting conversations earlier in the stream, and it was a little off the rails. But it's always fun to hang out with you guys and chat, to take a peek at the Pinterest and all of that good stuff. Flutter, thank you again for the resub. I can't believe that I've been streaming for 23 months. Like, how did that happen? But thank you so much for being there right from the start. Thank you to everyone who hung out today. Please take care of yourselves. Have a fabulous weekend in case I don't see you. And I will see you sometime next week. Take care, my friends.